Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video we're going to take a look at just how good the AGL LR Kale and Caulifla are after their Extreme Z Awakening. Now I have a dupe in these guys and I would say their EZA was probably on the safe side. I think they were a pretty good unit beforehand, so I think they were a bit concerned about maybe EZAing them too hard. A lot of the times there does tend to be, maybe an overcompensation for how good a unit could be when they EZA them, so they kind of restrict them a bit. And one of those big restrictions sits essentially in their passive, and we'll talk about that when we discuss them. But they're a joint forces lead of 150%, which is okay, AGL type lead of 100%. They raise defense on both their 12 and 18 key, and they also lower attack on their 18 key, which is a nice change. It does actually help. There are events where that's pretty helpful. They also raise attack on their 12 key now, which means follow-up attacks do more damage. They have key +3 attack and defense of 130%, and they launch an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack. So that's pretty good. They have an additional attack and defense of 66% and launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack when HP is 66% or less. Now, I think if you switch this to more, so if you make this 66% or more, then all of a sudden they become way better. And I think that small change honestly changes how they function. 66% or less is nice, but the situations where you are at 66% or less health is not super often in terms of them as a unit. Now, they also have +1 key and up to 6% additional evasion with every super attack that they perform, or every attack they perform, and it can go up to a max of 66%. This is pretty good. 66% evasion is pretty good. They have attack of 10% per Universe 6 category unit and joint forces or Pure Saiyans category ally on the team. They also launch an additional super attack when there's a Universal Survival Saga or Pure Saiyans category enemy. They have Super Saiyan, Battlefield Diva, Warriors of Universe 6, Tournament Power, Prepare for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power as their link set. And down Pepe Gals, Universal Survival Saga, Pure Saiyans, Full Power, Joint Forces, Universe 6, Super Saiyan 2, Rapid Growth, Bond of Friendship, Power Beyond Super Saiyan. And yeah, they're pretty good. Couple of things about them that you need to know with how they work. So units that meet the requirements of Universe 6, Joint Forces, or Pure Saiyans actually fulfill their requirements like doubly. So if a unit meets all 3 requirements, it gives them 30% attack. If a unit meets 2 of them, it gives them 20%. So it's not just 10% for a unit if they meet 1 of the 3, it's 10% for each category they meet, which is pretty important. If they face a unit that is both Pure Saiyans and Universal Survival Saga, they will have 2 guaranteed super attacks. So that's also pretty important. What this means is that they're great in events where they face Pure Saiyans. On the downside, there's only a couple of events where you face Pure Saiyans. Now, in the Broly Red Zone, they're going to look great, and I think they are great in that. I think they're great in a lot of red zones. They still stack defense at a pretty good rate. The guaranteed additional super attacks means they stack pretty well. I think overall you can build them pretty safely into just crit. I think that ends up leading to them being in a pretty solid position. Now, the issue that they have, ultimately at the end of the day, is just that restriction of that 66% additional attack and defense. Their attack stats are not super dramatic. We've seen like Gogeta, Strength LR Gogeta, he can have pretty much close to 800k defense, 50% dodge, and he can launch 13 million attack stats with guaranteed crits pretty much quite regularly. And I think with these guys, it just doesn't feel like they have enough to really work as well as I want them to work. Overall, I think they're great. Like, I think they're good. They accompany the new AGL Kale very well. They share a lot of links with her. She is a great unit. She's also an awesome first slot unit when she's with the Universe 6 unit. I think there's great synergy between them. A Rainbow Kale and Caulifla as well probably hit close to the 8 million mark at full power, which is pretty good. They can fire a lot of follow-up super attacks. You can build them full crit. It's not that they're bad. It's not that they are terrible. They stack defense really well. They get to the, like 400, 500k mark pretty quickly. The evasion helps out as well. 66% evasion is all pretty good. And a lot of it's not conditional. Meeting the requirement to have some Pure Saiyans or Universe 6 units on their team, or even join forces, is honestly not that hard. So yeah, it's not bad. They're not bad. They're not terrible. They're not horrible units. They're not shocking units or anything like that. I just think they lack, maybe a little bit extra. I think you kind of wanted them to be, if they're at like a 7 out of 10 for what they could have been, I think maybe you wanted them to be at an 8.5. I think a big difference is that 66%. I think when that triggers, if that was above, the requirement was to be above 66% health, I think that's a good threshold. I think them being above 60% health to get an additional 66% and an additional super attack, you would have had them firing off like 5 super attacks right from the very beginning. You would have had their defense at a really good position for a lot of hard events at the very beginning, and I think they would have been very good. Right now, if you use them against Pure Saiyans or Universal Survival Saga enemies, they still are a top unit. When they face anyone else, they become just a good unit, and I think that's maybe kind of surmises the big difference. Now, they are fortunate. Kale's a big buff to them, and she's perfect foil for them. She's first slot tank. She can tank very well. She can link up very well with them. They activate her full passive. They share 6 links together. Together, they make a great duo. And I personally think that it's still a very powerful duo. You have Kale throwing out 11 million attack stats. You have them throwing out 7-ish million attack stats. They've got 800k defense. They've got 66% evasion. Kale's got 400, 500k defense, but she's got guard. It's just good. Just a good combination. Just a very good, solid combo of units. I think ultimately at the end of the day, if you have Kale, you'll enjoy using these guys. I think they're a lot of fun. I think they should have maybe buffed 2 more units from Universe 6. I think if they'd Easy 8 Strength Kale and Tech Caulifla, then we'd be looking at a different story. And I think if they just changed her passive to being 66% and above, I think you'd more commonly see her hyped up a lot. Because yes, you do get below 66%. And it happens in hard content for sure. But it's just not necessarily, it doesn't promote super impressive units. Now I think overall they're great, and I personally love them. I do think they're a lot of fun, and I think they really do bring everything together. I think they can be a really good unit. I just think their team's not got enough, and I don't know when it'll get buffs to really be enough. But that's just my thoughts and opinions. Honestly, at the end of the day, I think they're exceptional, and I do really like them still, and we'll definitely be taking a look at how good they can be later on. But for now, I think at the end of the day, for me, I'd probably give them a 7 out of 10. I think they could have been better as a unit. I think they could have done more as a unit. I think they could have made them just a touch higher on the spectrum of how good they are in Dokkan. And again, that's not to say that they're bad, it's just to say that they're not as good as maybe I was expecting. But I do really like them as a unit. I will still be running them. They can help you clear a lot of content. Only events that disable evasion will give them some issue, and that's okay. They should stack fast enough in those events anyway, because I think Broly is currently that only event. So yeah, that is basically it. In terms of links, they have a decent link set. Obviously, big crucial links for them are Tournament of Power, Warriors of Universe 6. Those are obviously only Universe 6, but they have enough to link on a Pure Saiyan's team. Super Saiyan, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. It's not huge, but it's enough to kind of make things work out. It's enough to bring units together. I think that matters. So for me, I think their link set gives them enough coverage. They gain a lot from link leveling, especially with the Warriors of Universe 6 and the Tournament of Power link sets, but those, unfortunately, are probably the slightly harder ones to activate. Fortunately, they do get them from Kale, who's fantastic, so there is a way around it. But yeah, I think overall, I'd have to say a good unit, just maybe not the world's craziest unit. But with that being said, I think I really enjoy the Kale and Caulifla. I think there's definitely a team that could be made. Power Beyond Super Saiyan, I think, is probably the best team right now. Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Transformation Boost Hybrid with maybe Kale as a friend lead, alongside as well a Tech God Doer as your own lead. There's a lot of pure Saiyans with actually coverage on both of those, and you should get enough decent attack boost. So I think there's definitely that. But yeah, I think overall, I'd have to say okay. I think I'm more just thinking about what they could have been, which is why maybe you feel, or I feel, that they may be a little bit shortchanged. But I do think they are very good. I thought they were good anyway before the EZA, so I just think them getting their EZA obviously brings them into the meta. But I do think they were maybe a step behind where I wanted them to be. But yeah, overall, pretty good unit. And yeah, if you have them, definitely give them a try. That's going to be it from me. See you next time. Bye.